Hello friends, welcome to the session 2 of writing skills. In the previous session, we talked about writing a report and particularly an event report. We discussed format of an event report, body of an event report, and more importantly, some useful language expressions which we can use to write an effective event report. In this session, we will talk about writing memos or memorandum. We will start with the definition. What do we mean by a memo? We will then discuss some purposes of writing a memo. We will also look at the format of a memo, followed by some useful language expressions which can be used to write an effective memo. We'll also talk about some points to remember, and we'll also see a sample memo which will give us an idea as to how we can write an effective and appropriate memo. If you look at the definition and if we refer to the Oxford Learners Dictionaries, a memo is an official note from one person to another in the same organization. It is like an in-house letter which is used for communicating or conveying information or messages within the same organization. Now, it could be from one person to another or from one person to many. It depends on the purpose of writing a memo. And we have many purposes of writing a memo. For example, to inform. When you want to inform something to somebody, you write a memo. For example, you want to inform about the new policy of your organization to your staff members, then you may write a memo. When you want to report something, let's say something has happened and you want to report it to your staff members, then you may write a memo. Give suggestions. You want to give your suggestions on some issues or some problems of your organization, you may write a memo. To remind. For example, you have assigned some task to your staff members and you want to remind them about the same, you may write a memo. To instruct, for giving instructions. To communicate the ideas, and at times you write a memo to warn somebody. So there are many purposes of writing a memo. If we look at the format of a memo, then there are 6 sections that we have to understand. The first one is heading. Now in this section, there are 4 parts that we have to understand. Number 1 is the to section, the to part where you write readers' names or job titles. Then comes the from section where you write your name or job title because you are writing that memo. Then the current date and then the subject. Now when you write the subject of your memo, please understand that you have to be specific. It should not look like a lengthy sentence. It should look like a subject. So precise and specific. Then comes the purpose of your memo. Here you have to write the purpose of your memo, why you are writing this memo, the reason. Then comes the body, where you have to describe the details or give explanations, examples if needed. And then you can conclude your memo with an action statement by telling your readers exactly what you want them to do. If you want them to follow your instructions, if you want them to follow your orders or your suggestions, you may tell them here in this section. Then in the closing section, you have to write your name and job title. We also have this section called carbon copy or CC, which you can use. For example, if you want to send this memo to somebody who is not a part of the group of people you are sending this memo to, then you can send a carbon copy to that person. This option is available even when we write emails. So I'm sure you know about this option. Let's talk about some useful language expressions. First thing that we need to understand is, unlike letters and emails, memos do not require salutations. We know that we start letters and emails with dear sir or madam or dear Mr. Patel, etc. While writing memos, you don't actually have to have these salutations. You can directly start your memo with the purpose of your memo. You can use sentences like, the purpose or objective of this memo is to. So for example, the purpose or objective of this memo is to inform you about the new policy of the organization. You can also write, the memo intends to. So the memo intends to inform you, and then you write the purpose. The memo is written or drafted to. So the memo is written or drafted to inform you, and then you continue writing your purpose. You may also write this sentence. I'm sending this memorandum out to. So I'm sending this memorandum out to inform you, to instruct you, to warn you, to give you suggestions, etc. So these are a few language expressions which you can use to talk about your purpose of writing a memo. If we talk about the body of a memo, then these are the language expressions you may use. For example, as of July 2015, then you write the name of your institute or organization, will be implementing new policies regarding students' attendance. So let's say as of July 2015, XYZ Institute will be implementing new policies regarding students' attendance. Then you may also write this sentence. In order for students to perform well in exams and other academic activities, it is important that they attend lectures regularly. Now, if you look at this language expression carefully, you will find that in this language expression, you are actually justifying the purpose of your memo. The purpose of your memo is to inform them about the new policies regarding students' attendance. Now, you also have to tell them, why are you making changes in the policies? So then you are justifying the purpose. You are giving the reason, valid reason, by using this kind of sentence. Conclusion. To conclude your memo, you can use this type of sentences. I look forward to your support in this matter. We hope that the new policy change will be of greater benefit to our staff members. We are confident that these strategies will lead to a boost in our teaching learning process. I'm excited to discuss your opinions in the next meeting. Thank you in advance for your continued support. Now, if you look at this language expressions carefully, you will understand that the writer of the memo is explicitly, clearly telling what he or she wants his or her people to do. If you look at the first expression, for example, I look forward to your support in this matter. So you actually want them to support you in this matter. And that's why you are writing this line. So as I told you earlier, that in conclusion, you can explicitly tell them what you want them to do. Let's discuss some points to remember. Don't use informal or emotional language. Remember, memo is a formal document, a professional document. So you should not use any informal or emotional language. You should not use slang words or colloquial language. Colloquial language refers to the kind of language that we use while speaking. So we should avoid it while writing formal documents. Use bullet points. It would be easier for your readers to understand if you have used bullet points. Be brief and clear. It's a very brief document. It's not a very lengthy document. So you have to be very brief, to the point, precise, concise, and very clear, not vague, not ambiguous. Otherwise, you would end up miscommunicating. ask yourself, can I write this sentence in a more clear or direct way? At times, we tend to write lengthy sentences. So at that time, you have to ask yourself, can I write this sentence in a more clear or direct way? If yes, you have to change it, or you should change it rather, to make your memo more effective and to the point. Don't forget to review or proofread. Now, this is true for any formal document that you write, be it report, be it letter, be it email, be it memo, anything, any formal document that you write, you should inculcate this habit of proofreading. This proofreading will help you get rid of common errors, grammatical errors, spelling errors, punctuation errors, etc. So inculcate this habit of reviewing or proofreading. And keep in mind your purpose and your audience. As we discussed while we discussed report writing, here also you have to keep in mind your audience and the purpose. And accordingly, you can choose your words, you can choose your language. Be smart. Now here the word smart refers to something. Let's see what is it. The S stands for specific. You have to be specific while writing your memo. M stands for measurable. It should be measurable, not very lengthy, short, and to the point. Attainable. It should be comprehensible. People should be able to comprehend it, understand it, and attain the things mentioned in the memo. Relevant. Of course, it should be relevant. Irrelevant memo will not make any sense to your readers. Time bound. Of course, it should be time bound. So we should remember these 5 characteristics of a memo: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. This is the sample of our memo. You look at this sample carefully, you will find the things which we have already discussed: to, from, CC, date, subject. Now you look at the subject, only 2 words: customer presentation. Now the memo is actually written to appreciate the people. If you read the body of the memo, you will understand that. If you read the first paragraph or the first line, JSKL marketing presentation you prepared last week to showcase our new product line was exceptional. So the first line actually clarifies the purpose of the memo. Then you say the body, your enthusiasm, sales strategy, and product knowledge were impressive and certainly sealed the deal with Mr. Lockhart. And then you thank them for making outstanding presentation. So it is a well-organized memo, precise, specific, to the point, and all the characteristics that we discussed you can see in this sentence. I hope you have read it carefully. These are some of the references which I used to prepare this presentation. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed and you understood what we discussed today. And as I told you last time also, I'm sure you will try to apply what we discussed today. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.